Alright, KTC, here we go. Another week wrapping up here. I'll say it was awesome to have so many runners out this morning on Sunday. 6! We actually got two-ish groups of different abilities, so hopefully we can build on that. I will send out another invite for next week and talk about what we're going to be heading into next week. Before I get there, a couple quick announcements though. First of all, as people are starting to think about races, and I just pulled the trigger on Ironman Canada because I wanted to get in the Flex 90 program. If you haven't heard about the Ironman's Flex 90 program, if you do register in the first 90 days of any race finishing, then you will get added benefits like the ability to defer if something happens, you can't make a race or it gets canceled. So you can defer to another race in the region or potentially till next year, partial refunds, etc. So more gives you some flexibility in terms of showing up to the race or not. If you miss that window, then I think you're on your own, or you can use some of the active insurance, which usually never seems to insure you against the things that cancel a race in the first place. So anyway, that's been my experience. Other quick reminder, so yeah, anyway, if you want to get in on Ironman Canada, you got 2 more weeks before you can get that, or before that Flex 90 runs out. Other races, unfortunately, Victoria's long gone, and if you're doing any of the late season races, just keep that in mind. Tri-Club program, if you haven't signed up yet and joined the KTC Ironman Tri-Club program, we have registered with Ironman as a club. You joining the club gets us a whole ton of benefits, including yourself gets you a whole ton of benefits. So if you go to ironman.com under programs, there is this Tri-Club page, which my internet's going incredibly fast right now. So you can click on Tri-Clubs. You can find out more. Again, we've already registered, and I'll show you how to sign up in a second here. But ton of benefits. Obviously, you get points, and everyone who shows up and completes the race does get points. So it doesn't matter whether you finish first or last, you will be contributing to your club for points. Victoria is the North American or Western North American Tri-Club Championships, or some Northwestern Tri-Club. Anyway, I don't know. It's one of the championship races, so it will be a little more clout put onto the Tri-Club awards and things like that. So things you do get prior to registration, so you do get notified of these races, and registration will open to you early. We can rack our bikes together, which can be fun. If enough people enter, and I think it's 10 people, you can earn complimentary race entries. So we get 1 complimentary race entry for every 10 members who registered an Ironman race. And it can be used towards Ironman 70.3s, and 1 complimentary for every 20 affiliates. So we can be giving away, drawing out free Ironman and free half Ironman if you sign up and get your name on the list, and we get enough people registered, which right now it's looking like that's going to be the case. That could be like $1,000 win. That'd pay for your Tri-Club training almost for the entire year. So anywho, get on that. VIP passes and discounts. There's podium awards, again, global rankings. There's Tri-Club Village stuff, blah blah blah. Yeah, anyway, Ironman discounts or special discounts at the Ironman store. So in my opinion, just getting a potential free entry or having draws going out to our club members, whoever registers, that is. So if we get 10 people registered for Ironman Canada, you have a 1 in 10 chance of winning another Ironman registration. 1 in 20 for Victoria. So anyway, those are pretty awesome odds. So that's all. Oh, sorry. How to do it. When you go to ironman.com, you have to log in. If you haven't created an account with Ironman, you'll have to do that. Once you've done that and you're logged in, you'll be brought to your profile that looks like this. And you can click on club memberships. And you can see I'm already a Kelowna Tri Club member. And you can just add a club to your account. So if you go to add club and search for Kelowna Triathlon Club, it should find us. It's kind of weird. Click on that search and then search Kelowna Tri Club. Make sure we're here. Come on. Too many words. Kelowna. There we are. Kelowna Triathlon Club. So you can click that one and select, and you are part of the club. And again, we can earn all those little benefits and awards. So that is it for Tri Club stuff. Or at least Ironman Tri Club stuff. A couple quick reminders as I've been reviewing all of your registration forms. Lots of peanut allergies that pop up, or peanut nut allergies. So if you are bringing any food to the pool, if you can refrain from bringing anything with nuts in it, that would be great. They're not going to be great to be taking in during training anyway. Carbohydrates are going to be king. Nuts going to be a little too high in the protein, a little harder to digest, I guess, proteins and fats. So anyway, if you can refrain from that, that would be wonderful. That being said, make sure that you are hydrating and bringing some sort of fuel to your training, especially in the pool. So really you should be going at least or through at least one bottle of water, if not sport drink, and maybe even a mixture of one bottle of sport drink and water. So make sure you stay hydrated, fuel well. If you are cramping, it's probably dehydration. Remember, if you're swimming early in the morning, you typically wake up dehydrated. So if you're going right to coffee and then to the pool, you're going to be well behind. So try to take in at least a cup or two when you wake up. And again, bring a bottle with you. There should be nothing but bottles on the bulkhead and all your pull boys. Tri BC memberships for 2023. I am going to be getting on that registration ASAP as well. So there will be a discount code that I'm going to be putting out to all club members to use if you want that $5 off your Tri BC membership for 2023. You don't need to have that done until January 1st, so stay tuned. We'll be getting on that. But if you were wondering when that will be coming, it is in the works. We'll also have an announcement about the AGM coming up. That's going to be, I believe, December 15th. Don't quote me on the exact day. It's mid-December, and it will be in the evening. Looks like we're going to hit Barn Owl, do it in person again. And again, stay tuned for more info on the annual AGM. And the last thing I want to talk about, swimming. It's full. It's busy. Again, I am just over the moon. It's been awesome to see everybody in the pool. I know there is still a little bit of getting acquainted to swimming with one another. The ebbs and flows of the workout, your new lane mates potentially, just getting everything organized. I will stress a few points. Point number one, get to know everybody in your lane. There's no rush. Take a sec when you jump in or take a break. Just, hey, I'm so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. And that'll make it way less awkward when you're trying to figure out who's going to go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe even sixth. Hopefully not, but figure out leaving order before you start pushing off. Especially Saturday, it was quite a gong show in the pool with people just pushing off, and then the next person push off, and you're just kind of staring blankly, wondering whether someone's going to go or not, and then you go, and then they go at the same time. So anyway, just communicate with each other. Have your order before you are sending off, and when you do send off, leave distance at least 5 seconds apart. Get off each other's feet. It's not fun for anyone. Well, it is fun for the person that's drafting. But it's annoying for the person pulling you around the pool. And if you're catching that person in front of you in 5 seconds, then either go in front of them by communicating, hey, do you mind if I go in front of you? I seem to be catching you every single interval. I guarantee you that person is going to rather draft you or let you go first and get you off your feet, or get you off their feet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, other than that, hopefully, again, we kind of continue to get into the ebbs and flows of making these workouts go nice and smooth. This week in the pool, we're going to be doing something different, so we'll be switching it up a little bit, and I'll explain that in a sec. But anywho, yeah, that'll be my piece and feedback for continuing to swim with these busy groups. I have a little bit of extra space at 6 a.m. because we got a fifth lane. So theoretically, I got 4 spots left at 6. I only have 2 spots left at 7 because we only have 3 lanes, and I have 4 spots left at 11:30. So if you're waiting to January, there are 10 total spots left, and I still have a couple people I know that are going to be jumping on next week, potentially the week after. So just heads up, that's where we're sitting at. And again, super excited. We may be at capacity, and that'll be it. There's no more room, and I'm not pushing any more registrations because we're pretty busy as it is already. But if you have a friend or two looking to potentially get in, I would do it now rather than later, but roll the dice and see what happens. So looking at the week coming up, we are going to be kicking it off with a recovery day as we normally do. Again, you can read my little recovery spiel here, which basically talks about use this day to organize your week. If you've got the day off, that is great to make sure the wash is done. Make sure your gear's in good working order. Maybe get your training or your Zwift set up and working properly so you're confident when you hit it, you're good to go. Smoothies you can pre-make. Anything to make your workout more seamless, take less time away from your already busy life. As you know, just going out for one ride, you're looking at probably a half hour at least on the front end and on the back end. Maybe a little shorter when we're riding on the trainer, but there is still prep time, filling bottles, etc. Same with running. Swimming's the longest because you got to travel to the pool. So there is so much time that you, I'm not going to say waste, but must invest pre and post. The best or the better you can organize everything, make sure it's ready, the smoother your week is going to go, and the more time you'll have to actually train as opposed to prepping to train. So that is my spiel on recovery. Now you don't have to read it. In the pool, we are going to be doing video analysis this week, so actually giving you visual feedback. I've said this before, that the majority of your feedback in the pool is kinesthetic. This is going to be one of the fewer opportunities you have to get visual feedback, actually see what you're doing, and hopefully we can close some of the feeling reality gap. So what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing, well, we'll have a little bit of an intervention, I will say, in how you may think you're swimming compared to what I see every day. And then, of course, breaking down some of the mechanics, which we're going to be moving into. So it'll be really good to see what you're doing exactly. So when we talk about mechanics, we can actually be looking at what you're doing. And then when we get to drilling it in the pool, you'll have a very good understanding on the improvements that you personally need to make. Now, I won't be able to film everybody, especially at the 6 a.m. So anyone not being filmed will swim out an endurance set. This is a big set, so you may not get all the way through it. At the end here, I left some options to either do shorter 2 or 4 times. 2 obviously being shorter, 4 being longer. So depending on how fast you're making your way through, we'll modify this a little bit. And some of you won't get to filming at all on Tuesday, so you'll just literally be swimming out from the warm-up all the way through. We are going to start filming in lane 1, and we'll film 1 lane, and then lane 1, you're going to move to lane 2 and continue swimming. Lane 2, you'll move into lane 1 to do filming, and we'll just keep cycling through. So lane 2, you'll then go take over lane 3. Lane 3 will come to film. So that will be how we'll flow through the filming, and we should be able to get everybody done. We may be able to get visual feedback on deck real time, but I need to also check whether the TVs that Masters has works or not. And I've heard it not. So we may be figuring out another method on feedback. So hang tight on that. In terms of strength, we're still doing prep work, anatomical adaptation, lots of activation flexibility in there as well. So feel free, work through this as you like. You can skip steps, go through a little quicker, totally up to you, but really good just to get in the habit of moving well. We're doing a lot of this on the Saturday as well. Of course, During run sets, we're doing some of this work. But before any workout, this little activation sequence is gold. If you got anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes to just move the body, it will pay dividends. Then again, we're not doing anything too crazy. We're going to move from 30 to 30 to 40 and 20, so a little bit more work, little less rest. Same sequence, and then we're going to add in some push-ups, some rows, and some external shoulder rotators. So push-ups, you can vary from knees to feet. Rows, any row you want, whether that's going to be with tubing bands, could be dumbbells, could be bar, could be machine, and however you like, as long as you're working the back. It can be a low row, it can be a high row. Really don't care that much. Just want to get in a pull exercise. And then external shoulder rotators, as you're doing those, if you haven't been there Sunday, you're going to hold your elbow on your hip and you're just rotating out. So again, tubing, cables works really well. You could do it lying on your side with a dumbbell and use gravity as the resistance. So lots of different options. And then we're going to do some core work, some reverse physio ball. Sorry, I shouldn't say reverse. It doesn't say reverse here. Physio ball reverse hypers. There's my dyslexia. Or some back extensions. So working the back, side plank. Again, if you want to progress it anywhere from knees to feet, elbows to hand, to adding in rotational work or movement, feel free. And then leg lifts or kicking on back. If you do the kicking on back, nice floppy ankles, get those opened up a little bit as well. And if you do need to support your butt with your hands underneath a bit, that's fine as well. And then a little bit of flexibility work. Again, this is, the majority of this workout is probably activation and stretching, but it definitely pays dividends. You can work through a little quicker if you like. That being said, make sure you are holding the stretches until you feel the stretch reflex start to let go. And it usually is 30 to 60 seconds. So if you're holding for 5 or 10 seconds, you're not stretching. So I'll leave it at that. We're going to do the same, or repeat the same on Thursday. The swim set is going to be a little bit different, but we are going to be still doing video filming for anyone who didn't get filmed on the Tuesday. And as I said, a little bit of a different set, but still endurance focused, actually a little bit of speed change focus. I'm doing a little more speed change this year than we did last, at least early on. Not so much to get you swimming faster, but to get you changing speed. And typically it's not the faster speeds, it's teaching you to find the slower speeds. So if you're a 1-speed swimmer, you have slower speeds. So if you want to swim faster, you need to be able to slow down. So that is the more important part at this particular point in time is, please, can you swim slow when I ask you to swim slow or easy? And then can you actually change speed when I say moderate, fast? They're not huge speed changes in the pool. Even 3 seconds per 100 pace is a pretty big change when it comes to swimming. So some speed change would be awesome. So that's why we're doing quite a bit of that. Circling back to Wednesday, we just have a simple breathing set. Those of you that have been working with me for a number of years, or at least any time, you've probably seen this set. So the focus of this one is just tuning into your breathing rhythm as it relates to foot strikes. So how many foot strikes do you do every inhale and every exhale? And typically when you're running a little bit easier, you're going to inhale and exhale a little slower, so you're going to fit in more foot strikes. When you're running harder, your rate of respiration increases, and sometimes significantly, so you're going to do fewer footsteps or foot strikes per inhale and per exhale. So all we're trying to do is just become acquainted with that idea and what happens to your breathing rate when intensity changes, and how does that relate to your foot strikes. So obviously, as you are sprinting, you might be breathing, or you will be breathing a lot faster. It might be 2 foot strikes per inhale, 2 foot strikes per exhale. Or it could even be 1 foot strike or 2 foot strikes per inhale, 1 foot strike for exhale. That would be going really hard. So we're just going to play around with this. This will be a treadmill again because it looks like the snow's sticking around for a little bit longer. and I'll be at H2O if you want to join me bright and early in the morning. 6 a.m. activation start, and we'll get on the treadmills probably shortly after that. The Wednesday, I was humming and hawing, and I wasn't going to do the Zwift sequence or the FTP sequence. I wanted to do a time trial. I just find that way less painful. But I thought, you know what? Let's be consistent. Everyone can't make the time. So if you want to do this workout on your own, the whole purpose of the FTP workout is setting your training zones. So we are trying to prescribe very specific intensities for very specific durations. And to make sure that you're doing that correctly, we have to have the baseline numbers right. So when you do this workout, we got a nice little warm up in there, and then you're basically going as hard as you can sustainably for 20 minutes. So the idea is that there's very little change in your watts from the first minute to the last minute, but it's as hard as you could potentially go or possibly go for 20 minutes. Now, this may take some practice. It's very easy to go too hard and die, or start too conservative and have too much left at the end, but we'll start here. So that will be the Wednesday night ride. We are going to do it in a meetup, so we are doing it together. The meetup request already went out. Remember, if you haven't got that, make sure you follow me on Zwift. And you're actually not going to use this Training Peaks workout. When you're in the meetup waiting for it to begin, go into the workouts and load the Zwift FTP workout. So not the Training Peaks custom or the custom workout. Stay away from custom workout. Go to the FTP tests in the Zwift folder and choose that one. It's an hour and 13 minutes. It looks exactly like this one. I've replicated it perfectly. The problem is, or the benefit of picking the Zwift one is it will give you average watts as you're doing the actual 20-minute test, which is a great motivator. And when you finish the test, it'll just tell you what your FTP is. Now, if you mess that up, don't worry. This Training Peaks one will work just fine. You'll just have to do the math on your own, which is essentially taking your average watts for the 20 minutes, multiply it by 0.95, so 95% of what you did for 20 minutes, and that's going to be a rough estimate of your FTP, your functional threshold power. So that is Wednesday. Friday, jumping over, we're going to get into some hill work. So easier intensity, zone 2, but we're going to play with some of the incline on the treadmill. Again, that'll be a treadmill workout. Zwift Academy, if you want to hit the finish line ride with me on the Friday afternoon. Sorry, Luke, you already did that one, but that will also be a pretty hard effort. So again, the Wednesdays, Fridays tend to be a little harder, upper aerobic focused. Saturday, really important. We actually don't have any swimming on Saturday. I was just notified that there is a swim meet this weekend, so unfortunately we won't have access to the pool. I am going to throw out, starting at 7 a.m., a endurance ride challenge. If you want to take on the 4 horsemen, put in an epic ride instead of a swim ride, feel free to join me. I'll start at 7. I will make it I think I've made it an event. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done that. And if you want to jump on and do that ride, we won't all be riding together. We'll probably have a couple groups potentially, but the challenge will be just to complete the route, which is probably 4 to 5 hours minimum. It's pretty long and it's only 90K, but Alpe de Zwift is in there at the end, so no big deal. Lots of climbing. If you're not up for that, you can jump on just for a little bit and just do some riding. You can do another route if you want, and jump on Discord if you want to chat a bit, or you can jump on at any point, late or earlier. And hey, you're riding. That's awesome. And then Sunday, again, we'll do another run. Maybe we'll go a little bit longer on next Sunday. I did put in a 4th 14-1, again, depending on where you're at. We'll put another Facebook group out there. And again, hopefully we can get a couple groups like we had going this morning, because that worked out quite well. So we had one group running about 5 minutes, 4:45s to 5 minute kilometer pace. And we had another group, I think was probably around the 6 minute per kilometer pace, maybe plus. I don't know. It was a little icy out there. So anyway, if that, any range there fits your current running pace ability, then it'd be awesome to have you out. So again, super long one. Apologize. A lot to go through this week. This is the last kind of bigger week. Then we'll bring it down a little bit. That being said, even on the recovery week, we're not going to be, going too easy, but we'll pare it back a little bit just so that you are having some recovery time in there. So that will be it for the week. Anyway, look forward to seeing you bright and early on Tuesday morning. If not, run into you sometime before. Who knows? Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care and rest up. Get ready for another big one. Yeehaw.